dog's got a heart, hasn't he? I'm joking apart, hasn't he? And though I'd be the first to admit this is a little like hell, I'm finding it hard to be really as calm as they tell. I'm reviewing the simulation. Can one system be this tricky all the time? All the trials and tribulations. Better find a way to deal with all this crime. Alvin to play and jump at me, pay fines with me, buy go from me and go for me and nag at me, and all the while he'd wag at me the hours that he would take from me, a misery he'd make for me. I think I'd better buy a mug again. This system you can keep. Anyway, we didn't want it. Anyway, we can have any system or world, and I'm starting from now. They ask how to win systems, dear nocturnal boy. So how? I'm reviewing the simulation. I must quickly look up everyone I know. Title people with a station whose ships can make a real impressive show. I'll adopt a wealthy pilot stance and run a fleet of Ferdinands and wave at all the passing ships with friendliness as much as is befitting fellow ne'er-do-well. Good morrow to your dear lad. Gold, I think I'd better buy a mug again. This data, where should it go? Somebody? Who do I know? Nobody. All my dearest companions have always been smugglers and thieves. So at Alvin's behest, they should start turning over new leaves. I'm reviewing the simulation. If you want a boom, you've got to spend a bob. Is it such a humiliation for a trucker to perform an honest job? So a job I'm getting, possibly. I wonder if the boss will be permanently cross with me, what missions he will give to me. I'll stack a bait and finish late and fix this state. Oh, but wait, I think I'd better buy a mug again. What happens when we hit 70? Expansion time again. At 70, we're bold. The dice have rolled. Who knows which system we will try? Don't worry about credits. I've enough for just one more rebuy. I'm reviewing the simulation. I'm addicted I shall stay. You'll be seeing no transformation, but it's tiring working hot and every day. I don't want nobody bit for me or made to clean his ship for me. This hot and life is not for me. It's getting far too hot for me. There's no rebuy.
Hello.
But who will change the scene for me? Stack missions day by day for me. But who can have the final say like me?
Oh, hello, I'm coming out of a live as well.
I think I better buy a mug again.
Oh, hello, I'm coming out of a live as well. I don't want to be coming out of a live. And I don't know why I've got all Welsh. I don't want to be coming out of a live. I don't know why I've got all Welsh.
Hi everybody, it's Nicholas Felix from Lave Radio. My new track is called Awakened. It's a robot versus alien track. And if you like it, please visit www.nicholasfelix.com. Enjoy the show.
Right, well, if anyone can still hear me, I'm going to mute my microphone. I think I heard a Putnik coughing. I heard you cough, and I am. Yeah, no, just over Discord. Yeah. Let me go, and I am now streaming my game to us. Okay, there we go. I'm streaming now. Okay. Oh, hopefully you will see me when you see me. Yeah. Yeah. Right, I'm muting myself anyway, so people don't hear me again. Can you make things so that anything we say doesn't also go out on air? I'm not putting myself out there again. Okay.
Galnet News Digest, 28th of September 3309. We read the news so you don't have to. In this week's news, Zachary Rackham gives in to the inevitable, and the Sirius Corporation plans to explode our hostages to freedom. Zachary Rackham is out of the presidential race, after his lawyers apparently advised him that if the piracy allegations were proven, he could spend the rest of his life in jail. Rackham had been suffering from a rapid loss of both supporters and finance for his campaign after the latest and largely circumstantial evidence of his past life as Pirate Calico Jack was published by the Federal Times. The resignation, late last night, of running mate Harlan Turk must surely have signalled to Rackham that his position had become untenable. The idea of a criminal running to become federal leader will have shocked many on the right. Jerome Archer, who introduced draconian snoopers charter legislation following the 9 Martyrs bombings, nailed the widespread sentiment that no one with even a hint of criminality deserves to be the leader of the Federation. Felicia Winters sounded rather patronising when she suggested that Rackham was right to let the grown-up politicians fight the election. There are now only 2 official candidates left in the election, Liberal Party leader and Shadow President Felicia Winters and Republican Party Vice President Jerome Archer. Commander LCU No Fool Like One has a somewhat forlorn hope to be a write-in candidate. The election, which has been delayed by 4 months, is due to take place during October.
Aegis is sufficiently confident in the viability of the Sirius Corporation's proposed method of freeing those held captive by the Thargoids that it is rushing straight into production, and they need your help. The Sirius Corporation has provided plans to convert the subsurface displacement missile, a mining tool that burrows through rock to get to a mineral deposit, then explodes, ejecting the minerals into space at high velocity, into something that can crack through the Thargoid Titan hull and then gently lead a chain of bobbing biostorage capsules safely back to the surface without vaporizing the capsule's human contents. Building on these plans, Aegis has prepared working prototypes and now plans to move into full production just as soon as an assembly plant can be commissioned. It is to enable the creation of this production line that it has appealed for commanders to deliver CMM composites, neofabric insulation, and osmium to spring a gateway in the Senlu system. Apparently, production lines are made of such things. Scouts who must eat more carrots than the Galnet News Digest team have apparently used the newly upgraded Xenopulse Wave scanner to identify the location of the trapped humans in the Titans. These are people who have been abducted from systems invaded by the Thargoids during the current invasion. Princess Aisling Duval urged the relatives of the missing millions to take heart that at least some of those taken prisoner by the Thargoids will be rescued, without being turned into a superheated liquid. Meanwhile, the fight back against the invasion continues to go well, but with some signs we may be approaching a point of equilibrium. There are just 105 Thargoid-controlled systems that used to have human presence, with 5 human systems under alert and 5 under invasion. The Thargoids control 481 systems in all, 13 fewer than last week.
And that's this week's Galnet News. Galnet News, we read the news so you don't have to.
G'day, Commanders. When the munchies take a hold and the Starscape Vista appears before you, what better time? Here is Space and Biscuits by 12 Strings Inc., available on SoundCloud and presented to you via Lave Radio. Commander Strings out.
You're listening to Lave Radio, the hottest show this side of Dizzo.
Definitely not where I've picked it up from because I've never seen Robot Chicken.
Nope.
Nope.
Not at the moment, no.
Also, stream can't hear it. Do do do. Do 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 do.
No intro soul, according to Intermute. That's harsh.
It says that you can
Are we
live?
Should we see if we can get some feedback saying we're live?
Yeah, we're definitely live. I heard us. It's
Okay.
fine.
It's fine. Right.
Yay!
Okay, greetings, Commanders, and welcome to episode 460 of Lave Radio. Although you wouldn't believe it. The show that likes to talk about the universe of Elite and the fantastic community that surrounds it. I'm your host, Commander Phoenix Sophia, otherwise known as Colin Ford, Chief Archivist of Lave Station. And joining me in the orange sidewinder bar for today, we have our Head of Health and Safety, Commander Ed Levice, otherwise known as Ben Moss Woodward.
I thought you were the Chief Armourer.
We also have our Staff Liaison Officer, that's Commander Psychic.
It's because both of his arms are broken.
We also have SRV Banksy, Commander Alec Turner.
Good evening. I sincerely apologise for everything.
And also joining us is an inhabitant of heaven. This is the worst thing because they've been winding me up about saying this all the time, and I've just gone completely blank.
Come on, Colin, you can do it. We believe in you.
Calum.
Yes.
Yes. Incola.
Yes!
Yay!
Thank you.
For some reason, we do have a Commander Psychic is suffering from a slight case of the jingles.
I don't know what's wrong with me.
Better the jingles than the jangles.
Well, I mean, depends on the day.
Yes. So, if you wish, you can join us live. We are hanging out in game, in open. I'm at the moment at Lave Station Bar. Once I log out and log back in again. So obviously, I think Ben, you're going to be there.
I am doing the. I've been playing Elite this week, and I know I've been playing this weird space game that I've heard about. And I've been doing some space trucking. So yeah, I'm doing the CG basically.
You're busy in the CGs, right?
Yeah,
fine.
I'm busy in the CG, and I'm being stupid because I'm doing the CG in open, so I'm probably going to die.
Yay!
Good. Right, if you can't get to us in game, you can also join the Twitch chat channel, which you can access through laveradio.com/live. Click on the live chat, and then go on to twitch.tv/laveradio, or go to Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube. You know, the usuals.
Other places are available.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, all the places and the things.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I guess we'll just go around the crew and see how they've been doing. So we'll start with Claire this week.
Hey. Hello. I've been doing well.
Hello, darling.
Hello there. What have I been doing? You know the usual. Metric fuck ton of D&D related activities, which is always fun because I enjoy living in a fantasy world. Other things that I have also been doing aside from different dice rolling universes, I have been playing an awful lot of Cyberpunk because the new Phantom Liberty update came out. I mentioned it last week. We finished the main quest line of the Phantom Liberty update today, and it is very, very incredibly very good. That's the only way that I can describe it. There are a lot of different branching ways that you can finish it. I chose a way which apparently is one of the more common ways of doing it. I do not regret my choices at all in the slightest.
Can I ask roughly what's the playtime of Phantom Liberty?
No, so okay, I haven't done everything. So there are side quests that I still have to go back and do. There are other things that I still have to go back and do. Like Cyberpunk 2.0 just in general is very good and very rewarding to be to go back into with like maybe a not too much of an understanding. I didn't really understand the skill tree when I first did Cyberpunk. This time I'm much more enjoying it. It's all in all a good time, and it's been really fun. I've done probably about 15 between 12 and 15 hours, I would say, but I have like done main storylines in between it because I started a new save. It's just been really nice to go back and revisit that world and those characters, because the characters, again, I will wax lyrical about performance capture and motion capture over prolonged eye contact until the cows come home. There is something about it that just grips me. Yes, also Judy Alvarez has my entire heart, but it's the mannerisms and the way that the characters act as well, with like the little micro gestures that they have, which just completely immerse you in that world, and I really, really love it.
Am I right in thinking it's free DLC if you've already bought Cyberpunk?
Yeah, so you've got the 2.0 update was free. You can buy Phantom Liberty as well.
Okay, so Phantom Liberty is a paid expansion.
Yeah, Phantom Liberty is the expansion. It opens another area of Night City. And it's got Idris Elba is, I want to say I would say the main character, but I'm putting that very heavily in inverted commas. He is very good. Very good. Like, as someone who wants somebody else to win the best voice acting BAFTA at the BAFTA, it's a little bit late for the Game Awards, but at the Game BAFTAs, as someone who wants somebody else very much to win it, I'm a little bit concerned because of how good Idris Elba is. But, you know, there's like 12 hours of gameplay and then like 12 hours of voice lines that just belong to the one character that Neil Newborn voiced, so I'm still kind of on that side of the fence. But yeah, that's about it. I haven't really done a huge amount of stuff like in the real world because I've been so fucking busy doing shit that is online and being chronically online at the moment. And I haven't really done anything in Elite. I've been paying attention to the stories, but at the moment, it's one of those things where I'm having a bit of a Elite dangerous lull in that I don't personally see that there's an awful lot going on in Elite at the moment, and I don't feel super inclined to log in, but I enjoy talking about the game with you guys, which is why I'm here.
Lovely. Well, it's always glad to have someone who can actually talk.
Well,
on subject of which, we've also got Ben. How have you been?
Yeah, so I mean, I will admit, a large
compliment.
Also,
a large part of the reason I've been playing the CG is because I've once again, oh my god, I love playing Elite in VR, and it is just like the best game to play in VR, and space trucking, not running around on foot, not doing any of the that stuff is all absolutely flippin' amazing in VR. And I love it. Bollocks to this on foot crap. Let me stay in my seat, damn it. And then I can use VR, and then I'm happy.
You want your Magna pants on full power?
Oh yeah.
Full power to Magna pants.
Magna pants, Captain. So yeah, I've been enjoying that. I've been, as I was saying to Putnik in the pre-show, I think I'm like 250 hours into Baldur's Gate. I finished my first playthrough. I went straight into a second playthrough, and about halfway through my second playthrough, I'm like, you know what? I really want to replay again as a bard.
I feel it.
And I'm like, damn it! Stop doing this to me.
You just want your Scanlan moment, don't you?
My what?
Scanlan moment. I don't think Ben's seen it.
Oh, what?
I don't know that Ben is aware of Vox Machina.
Oh my god.
No, I don't. I have no idea what Colin's on about at the moment.
You mean Burt Reynolds Esquire to you? Colin wouldn't even understand that, to be fair.
But yeah, I'm.
Yeah.
And I did realize, and I think I already knew this, but oh my god, Karlach's a prude. Shadowheart, who you'd expect to be a prude, she's down for anything.
Nah, she fucks.
Oh god, yeah. Karlach's a prude. I got rewarded a pair of twins, and Carl was like, "Yeah, you do you."
I got rewarded a pair of twins. Yeah. Holy shit! language.
That's what she said. Yeah, have the twins.
Have the twins.
I was like, don't mind if I do.
Yeah.
And then Karlach was like, no, you're not having them. Well, she was like, yeah, actually, Karlach was like, yeah, you do you. And then the twins were like, well, if she's not joining us, fuck you. I was like, oh, well, fuck you then.
Really? Were they like, oh, Rod, I want a piece of her?
It did. It was like, a piece of you. Like, yeah, the only. I mean, Halson was like, oh, yeah, let me get in there. And I'm not even talking to you. Halson's a horny bear.
Yeah, he is.
And I'm like, I'm not even doing anything with you, Halson. and yeah.
I love hearing Ben talk about his romance.
The one problem that we've got is that anytime you two start talking about Baldur's Gate 3, it always gets you into some kind of arousal mood, the pair of you.
It is a very horny game. As we
it sounds like there's nothing else in it apart from shagging, Brenton.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of sex in it because it's a good game.
Only if, yeah. Let's face it, even the male characters can now get pregnant.
No one can get pregnant in the fucking game.
It's a mod that makes all the characters. It's hilarious.
God,
it is so funny.
Sick. Jesus Christ, modders need to be stopped. This is why Elite had the good idea by really, really restricting its mods. Because holy shit.
Oh, you're not exactly going to get a pregnant Type 9, are you?
Well, I mean...
We're going to have to go back to space now. Oh, that's
Dead Space. Sorry, I thought you meant Dead Space.
Oh. I was just actually picturing a pregnant beluga.
Oh, right, Alec, please save us.
If anyone can hear my voice, please send help. I'm trapped in the wrong podcast.
We'll escape together.
Well, yeah, I've had an intense week. I don't know why. There's a buckyball race on, and I had so little time for it. It was really frustrating. We'll talk more later, but I did do a few runs, but really did not get into it nearly as much. I'm out of the top 10 in one of the classes, which is just effing outrageous.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, what else have I been up to? My son took me bowling. Whenever he gets money for his birthday, it's great. What he wants to do with it is take me bowling, and
That's lovely.
Yeah, he takes me bowling and he buys me a beer, so that was great. So we did that midweek. And then I took my wife and my stepmom. They had a tea party with some nieces, girls only. So me and my son had to go and find ourselves a cafe to sit in for an hour. But I have a old refurbished iPhone. I don't know what generation it is. I don't really care, but it's not ancient, but it's oldish. It had an absolute meltdown on its sat nav to the point where it was almost hilarious because this little cafe that I took the folks to is out in the middle of nowhere around Hertfordshire somewhere. And then me and my son went off for a coffee, and then when I tried to get back to them, does anyone else's old iPhone do this? But I'm using the built-in Maps app, so I guess it's Apple's one, not Google's one. It gets confused, and then it changes voices, and it changed voice on me 5 times trying to get me to this cafe, and it basically got completely lost. It took me like 5 miles in the wrong direction, and then gave up the ghost, and then another voice chimed in and told me to turn round, and then another voice was convinced I was in the middle of a field and just basically said, go back to the route. And it was ridiculous. I almost had to phone my wife and say, come and get me because I can't get to you.
I think that's the iPhone that the Australian government warned about because it was giving out such bad directions. People were dying in the outback.
I wouldn't surprise me at all. It was awful. What else in game apart from buckyball? Oh yeah, I went back to that nice crater I was describing.
Did you find it in the daytime?
I did. So not this morning. Yesterday morning, it was lovely and in daytime, and so I carried on making my time trial, which I'm going to add into ED Copilot. And I found a slight problem with my time trial. So the idea of my time trial was that you would start off at Wishbone Place or whatever it's called. And then drive up onto the edge of the crater, up onto the top of the rim, there's a nice little cutout in the rim, so it's sort of aim up there and get out, and then turn around and drive back again. And I did it once, and it'll make a great time trial. So then I tried to actually map it out yesterday. I couldn't get up the bloody edge of the crater because it's so steep and slippery. Basically, you've got to hit the edge doing about 100 meters a second, or you can't get out. So it's going to be a pros only time trial. Most people won't even be able to complete it. But anyway, and then I went back to finish it today, and it was pitch black. So
bit of a problem there.
Yeah, so I went somewhere else, but I can't remember where. Oh, I know. I went back to one of the other time trials to reclaim first place because Shay had knocked me off.
Oh, right. Well, at least you managed to regain some honour then.
I did briefly. I'm back on top of all the leaderboards.
As long as it's got 6 wheels.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think you'll find.
Ooh, okay. Right.
9 if you count the steering wheel. Ba-dum-bum.
Ah, but you don't have a steering wheel.
All right.
1-0. Right.
I'm done.
Well, welcome, Caleb.
Hello, yes, I was going to say it's a pleasure to be here, but I'm quite concerned for my safety at this point, so I'll
You
just...
never listened to the show before.
I have actually, yes. Yeah, I've had a really busy couple of weeks with lots of Elite-related stuff, and so much so that I have absolutely no idea what's going on in the galaxy at the moment in general Elite-related stuff. So from a personal perspective, as Alec mentioned, I think just before the show, I recently finished a physical Remlock helmet, similar to what I'm wearing in the bar at the moment in Lave Station, which I posted on the forum if you want to have a look at it. So that was great. I'm really pleased with that, and I wore that to PitCon as well, and I really enjoyed PitCon. Fantastic weekend there. In between all of this as well, I've been preparing for the last buckyball race. I just finished on Sunday night. So it's a race of my own design and my first host race as well. So I was kind of really nervous to make sure that it all went well, and obviously trying to shepherd, control, legislate for a bunch of absolute lunatics is really difficult. So, but it went well. It went well. So we've had good feedback, and it's been really good fun watching people career like fireballs around the bubble as well. So it's yeah, success.
You did fantastic. I'm sure we'll get into it later, but yeah, it was really good. Well done.
Thank you. Yep, that's me for the last couple of weeks.
Excellent.
I have to ask. Can I ask about, because we didn't get to do it the week before or whenever it was, about that helmet? I was curious about the visor. Can you see through it?
Yeah. It's I had to make my own vacuum forming rig to sort of pull a heated piece of, like, a sheet of PETG plastic, polyethylene terephthalate glycol, over the mold, and which was clear, and then I did a really light spray of gloss black on the inside so that you couldn't see in, but I could still see out.
Nice.
So yeah, it works. It works okay. Although Burr struggled to see out of it a little bit, I think, because he was having problems with his eyes anyway. But it was generally well received, I think.
Yeah, it's
Scott
amazing.
in the way.
It's just amazing. Have you got any stats? How long did it take you to make?
It is, yeah. I mean, off and on, it took me around about a year or so, just because I had the original kind of print done of the chassis, and then the sort of visor shape, if you like, and then I sort of put it to one side for a bit and probably played far too much Elite while I mulled over what I wanted to do with it, and I decided I wanted to finish it really well so it didn't look like it had been printed. So that involved so many hours of filling and sanding and painting and getting rid of the high bits and filling holes in and all sorts of stuff. So I think all told, off and on about a year, but I think probably 60, 70 hours of messing on and building and filling and sanding and painting and swearing and getting dusty and all that kind of thing.
Were you like, is that the first thing that you've ever done like that, or is there...
I've always been a bit crafty in a
Yeah.
not in a foxy kind of way. But I've always been a bit arty-farty as well. I paint and
Yeah.
I'm kind of reasonably good with my hands, kind of thing. Practical sort of stuff. So it's the first time I've done any vacuum forming. So that was a good learning curve. Making the visor. And my friend who printed it from me, one of the other commanders in the game, I went to PitCon with Optimal Pint. He's printed loads of stuff in the past, and we've ummed and ahed about how we want to make them better. He's made sort of things from Warhammer and Star Wars and all sorts of things that he's got on his wall in his little man cave. But the helmet was something I'd always really wanted a physical sort of copy of, really, because Elite's. Yeah, it's been kind of my game for the last 5.5 years or so, really. So.
Can you tell us how you actually did the visor to make it so you could see through it?
Yeah, after I'd vacuum formed the sheet of plastic over the mould, I trimmed all of that and fitted that into the chassis just to make sure it was okay, and then using just a rattle can of black gloss paint, I just did a very, very light dusting of sort of black gloss paint on the inside of the visor so that it couldn't be scratched from the outside. But that it was just enough so that the light wouldn't penetrate from outside.
It's a transparent sheet of plastic.
It's a transparent sheet of plastic, yeah.
And then just painted black on the inside. Got ya.
Yeah. Ideally,
I thought it was all 3D printed from what Alec was saying.
The mould for the visor was 3D printed, but I needed to do a lot of filling on that as well to get it as smooth as possible. It needs to be absolutely sort of glass smooth almost for vacuum forming, because that just picks up every little speck of dust. And ideally, if I'd have had more time, I finished it on the Thursday night and went to PitCon on Friday evening after work. So
that sounds normal, doesn't it?
Yeah. If I'd have had more time, I would have dyed the visor in like a big tub of polyester dye, and that would have been. I think that's my goal, to probably update the helmet in future months, really, once I make another visor. But I need another mould to vacuum form, because I had to destroy the mould to get it out of the form visor. Yeah, so that was.
Have you read what Ephesus is suggesting? Put some VR screens. So Ephesus is suggesting you put some VR screens into your visor to make your visor a VR helmet.
Some of the VR headsets, I've got a Quest 2, and some of the VR headsets that are coming out now, like the Pico, are a lot smaller. And I'm thinking, I might be able to fit one of those inside. But the wife shakes her head at me anyway, and she said, "You just stare at a black screen for hours and hours." And so I think staring at a black screen with an orange Remlock helmet on is probably going to be a bit too far. I think for it to,
the Quest 3 is quite slim, isn't it?
The Quest 3 is a lot slimmer than the 2, yeah. But the Pico just looks like a small pair of sort of safety goggles, really. It looks great.
Googling now.
My XR Elite is absolutely tiny. It just looks like a big pair of glasses.
I was going to say, I know you can get some that look like glorified sunglasses.
Yeah, that's what mine looks like. Although, admittedly, the kind of glasses that the Buggles used to wear in the Video Killed the Radio Star video. So, a bit Timmy Mallet, but they're still looking a bit glasses.
Yeah, more glasses than ski mask.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Okay, well, I'll just finish this section off. My arms are getting better.
Yay!
I've been flying around using a controller, and I must admit, on Saturday's stream, even though I couldn't do it on Sunday, I was flying around doing sort of missions, and I must admit, everybody said it was the funniest stream I'd done in ages, because anything that could go wrong went wrong, because I didn't know the controls mapped on the Xbox controller at all. Basically, I dismissed my ship when I didn't want to try. I was trying to board it, and then it landed, but I pressed the wrong button, so I shot the ship, which then triggered the base's anti-firing, sort of security measures. So I had to run away in my ship with about 2% hull, and then it just got worse from there, not docking correctly. Apparently everyone said it was the funniest stream they'd seen in ages, which is typical.
People are cruel.
You lot cruel? Never would have guessed it. Apart from that, there's been playing a little bit of everything. A little bit of Baldur's Gate 3. Thoroughly caught up with enjoyed catching up with that voice actors session of Baldur's Gate 3 where they all played their characters. That was quite funny.
I need to watch that. I haven't seen
the
that.
D&D?
Yeah, the High Rollers thing.
I've only seen the first half. I feel like I'm trying to save the second half until a time where I'm really, really miserable because it hurt my face so much to watch it.
Yeah, it's good. I'm halfway through the second one and then they've just hit something and I'm going... And I can't say anything more about that. Don't want to spoil it for you.
I've seen a couple of shorts from it.
Unlike you people who have got no spoiler warnings for me whatsoever, you just sort of talk as if everyone's completed it. Yeah. Anyway, right. That's basically been me. Just sat at home complaining about my arms as they slowly get better.
At least they're on the mend.
Yes. Right. Okay. I think we shall move on to the development news. Well, what have the devs said this week?
Not a lot if it's been about Elite.
No. Nothing, really. We've got something about stellar screenshots. Or rather, the stellar screenshots, which are back this October. You can win a horrifying, malevolent gas paint job by sending in your creepiest Elite Dangerous screenshots. So, cue a whole load of Thargoid-related running around, just to get people wearing the brown flight suits. They've got details over on the forums. We'll put the forum link in the link. And we do know that the next live stream that's going to be in October. I think it's going to be the week after Update 17 drops.
16.
We haven't got...
Update 17. What? Oh, no. I've done it again, haven't I? I'm so sorry. It's on the 16th. It's Update 17.
Yeah, there we go.
They could have made this so much easier for us.
So, that's not long to go. It's only sort of 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yay. Something to talk about. Way. Anyway, so that's it. Until then.
Good. I like stellar screenshots. I'd forgotten they were doing that. I must go and take some.
Yeah.
I like they talked on the live stream about doing themed stellar screenshots. They should do more. I think it's a good idea. They should do themes.
What, Christmas ones on ice planets?
Christmas
There's
ones.
plenty of them.
Yeah, for sure.
More sort of specific. You could do I don't know, close-ups, and you could do depth of field and
color theme.
Yeah, why not?
It's like we're looking for like near Sally's birthday. We're looking for your pinkest screenshots this week.
Anyone? No, I've got. What happened to SPVFA? I mean, I know Orange Phoenix is obviously still very, very active, but I feel like SPVFA has kind of stopped doing its thing. Did you guys used to get involved with SPVFA's thing? They did screenshots all over Facebook, and they had a theme every week.
Yeah.
And I feel like I haven't seen that for months.
I haven't seen it for months either.
They're still fairly active, I think, on Facebook. They have the group on Facebook.
Okay.
And I know Commander Exorcist posts a lot on Instagram as well, and usually tags the SPVF, or whichever way around it is. Usually tags them in his photos too. But they do seem to have gone a little bit quiet, I think.
Yeah, I suddenly reminded because they had a theme every week.
Yeah, they did colours and stuff, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. Well, on the subject of community, we'll see what they've been up to. We've got Foxy Loxy. He's exploring the Dragon's Den, an unbelievable experience in Elite Dangerous, which is basically him going around the Thargoid bases.
Yeah, it's good. I'm still following these every week. They're a lot of fun. I love that he. I think sometimes accidentally and sometimes deliberately gets things wrong. So he's been winding everyone up by calling his Corvette an Imperial Corvette. He's got a bit of a love of the Empire, and I thought he was just making an honest mistake at first, but he's clearly winding people up with that. But then, yeah, because he has no idea what the Thargoid base is. He's just calling it like a dragon. It looks like a massive dragon, and
I can see that.
It's great. I love it.
I can see why you would think it would be.
Yeah, if you've got no prior knowledge,
it's a bit
I mean, I love that he has
isn't it?
Yeah, I love that he has no prior knowledge of these things, and it's really interesting some of the comments he makes about it without any. I thought he might do the buckyball race this week. He joined our Discord, but fair play.
I saw that. I saw, yeah.
Yeah.
It's lovely to see though that like when the new commanders come on, especially like Foxy, and produce videos of the quality he's done. It really reminds you of your sort of starting journeys as well, which I think we all really quickly forget after we've spent a while in the game, don't we?
Yeah, it does. We're all so knowledgeable now. You know, I'm not saying that to be funny, but yeah, we sort of are.
Well,
and then to see someone that hasn't got a clue
about what we're doing.
It's great. Yeah. Anyway, he's still going strong. He's having a lot of fun.
I'm glad because it sounds like he hasn't lost any enthusiasm yet, which is good.
No, and I just thought he's so prolific. He dropped another video today, which I'll watch tomorrow. Which he's just discovered. I think he's got people, going out with him saying, "Oh, you got to try this," and he's just discovered the joys of filling a T10 with pack hounds.
Oh, good grief! So the Gundam missile launcher, then, yeah.
Yeah. I skimmed the video, and all I can see is smoke from 1,000 pack hounds. So it looks like it's going to be fun. I'll watch that tomorrow.
Excellent. We have Loot and Grind, who has done a nice little retrospective of Elite. He keeps on saying why I keep on coming back to Elite Dangerous.
He's another one who hasn't played for very long. Loot and Grind, or hasn't been producing video content for a huge amount of time around Elite. And it's, I think he's much like those of us who can be a little bit long in the tooth with Elite. There's nothing wrong with taking a few weeks off or stopping playing for a little bit, but there is. And I think we talked about this like a couple of weeks back, how nice it is to go back and how familiar it is. Like as Ben was saying right at the beginning of the stream, about what he'd been up to, how familiar and nice it is to sort of like go and sit back in your pilot seat and just like experience Elite again. It is like sitting in a comfortable chair, or because we kind of know what we're doing now. It's nice. It's just nice.
Yeah. Is anyone going to mention Cozy? Yeah.
No.
I will say this: for a dead game, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other commanders that I can see. 7, 8 other commanders now that I can see. Although I will admit, I am in the CG hand-in place and in open, so. Oh, and I see one person with a triangle.
There's a flipping CG, isn't it?
Yep.
Forgot that.
Pretty much. So, let us hand over to Alec for the next bit, which is, of course, the Breaking Badly Buckyball race.
Well, yes, indeed. I mean, hand over to me briefly, but I think I will throw this almost immediately straight back at Caleb. I'll just chip in. So this is this our penultimate race? Gosh, this might be our penultimate.
Two more, yeah.
Phew, good. Thank you. Yeah, so the championship continues. This was Caleb's race, who we got on to talk about it. I did it. There's no point in me describing it. I should just hand straight over. Tell us about your fantastic race.
Thank you, Alec. Thank you very much. This started when I was feverishly talking Alec's head off at LaveCon last year in that ridiculous heat that was we had, with lots of ideas around my own ideas for buckyball races. I started with the Buckyball Club start of last year and joined in with last year's championship. and it kind of renewed my sort of enthusiasm for lots of aspects of the game as well. So, as is my want occasionally, when I see an opportunity, I tend to jump in with both feet. So I cornered Alec and basically talked at him for a while. So I had a few sort of movie and TV themed ideas for races.
Your puns are sensational.
Yeah, well,
Callum's got like a dozen race titles, isn't it?
So Breaking Badly was based around the Breaking Bad kind of theme, but I had things like Stranger Wings, which would involve people winging up. Kind of impractical for a buckyball race unless it's a standing challenge, maybe. Don't know, we'll think about that one. I had Out of New Africa, Flight Club, Davs of Thunder. So there was lots of things. Anyway, so I mulled over all of the ideas, and because of the way that the buckyball races are kind of structured, Breaking Badly was the one that tended to fit most neatly within the current or the existing kind of buckyball race structure, really. So the concept of the race, like I said, based around the Breaking Bad TV show, lots of elements and references as I could shoehorn into it whilst still making it a doable race. So you basically had to transport a cargo of narcotics across various stations in the bubble. A couple of which were called Heisenberg something, one was called Walter something, and deliver your narcotics there to furnish your criminal empire. And then, in order to try and expand your criminal empire as well, you also had to visit 2 out of 3 optional stations, which are called Cook something or other. Go fly into the station and back out again without asking for docking permission. So the way people approached this was really varied. Some people did the Cook thing with cargo. Some people offloaded the cargo first, then did it. But on top of all of this as well, so that was like the main structure of the race. On top of all of that, you got to have shenanigans in the buckyball race. So again, I tried to theme those around Breaking Bad as well. So the first one was called I Am the Danger. A standard sort of buckyball shenanigan, which is flying with no shields for the entire duration of the race. So that gave you 30 seconds off your time. There was one called I Am the One Who Knocks, which another sort of standard buckyball one, which meant if you finished with 10% hull or less, you got 30 seconds off your time. If you finish with 1% or less, you get a full minute off your time as well. We had hand closes in, which was because of the danger of transporting narcotics, because you're flying in and out of stations without asking for docking permission. Fines were generally a thing. You could get through it without getting fined, but which gave you 30 seconds bonus if you did that. But generally, people were getting fined, and I gave people a limit of fines that they could get to before they started getting penalised. But the last shenanigan was probably the most complicated one, really, that I introduced in the game, and it was called Let's Cook, which basically meant that at some point during your run, you had to overheat your ship. And I said, anything past 150% heat, I'll give you 1 second off your time, as long as you land and you finish the race, basically. So
I have to ask, did you have any kind of clue how far people would take that?
In regulation, I did all of my testing in regulation, so I kind of had an idea that 400% might be, doable, because I'd done it myself. I was a little bit of a way off in regulation, given what some people did. In Unlimited, I thought the variables are so big that, and I know how far you can push certain ships into the thousands and thousands of percentage points, that I thought, I'm not even going to bother trying to test this. I'm just going to see what happens, and they didn't disappoint. Yeah, it was really good. I did ban shield cell boosters, and I did ban weapons to try and prevent sort of artificially enhancing your build-up of heat. So you had to generally rely on the FSD or a star or that sort of thing to overheat your ship in silent running, that kind of thing. I think the highest somebody got and landed, I'm just trying to look at my notes here. in unlimited. So I ended third. I had one run in a Crate Mark II that I'd adapted from a Thargoid ship, which had lots of hull, and I got that to 1,447%. But because of the way the Buckyball Club's structured, because I was a host, I can't stay third. So Epaphras gets the points for third place because he came fourth.
Yeah, it's a bit embarrassing if the host wins their own race.
It is a little bit, isn't it? Yeah. Sulu was phenomenal all week. He was just absolutely brute forcing it and just destroying ship after ship, trying to really push his heat, and he took it up to 2,261% and still landed it, and ended up with a run of minus 4 minutes and 40 seconds. But Shea Blackwood was absolutely sensational. His module management, his AFMU management, whilst his ship was absolutely melting next to a Class B star, and he wasn't panicking. He was just, and he still jumped home as well with his ship. He reached 5,251% heat, and then flew it home and landed with smoke still pouring out of it, practically on the pad for about 15 minutes after he finished.
It's incredible. I should have asked, actually. I know Shay's in chat, but I almost wondered about sharing it in the show notes, because I mean there were some really good runs, and there's quite a lot of different approaches to overheating, but Shay's kind of, scientific and just technical. It's a thing of beauty. I mean, he's already limiting himself in this race to 3 particular ships, just to make things interesting for himself. So I think he ended up doing this in a Python.
That's right, yeah.
But the engineering on the Python and the build of it is just incredible. He's like, it's loaded with heat sinks. He's obviously got a Guardian frameshift booster for the range. He ended up with AFMUs and hull reinforcements. Module reinforcements, isn't it?
Yeah, he had a lot of module reinforcements. I think that was where the main weakness ended up being with the hull that he had on the Python. The modules were going first, and it was kind of the other way around with the Cobra, the regulation ship.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was phenomenal.
Watching Shay's run, I know I was a bit sort of moany about the race in some ways last week, and about this kind of thing, taking over from speed. But watching Shay's video just gave me a whole new appreciation for this kind of thing, because there's, I know people who are sort of into their AX combat or other things are really into their builds, and I suspect many people think that racing is just about going fast. But when you look at the sort of science and research and experimentation that went into Shay's build, not just in keeping the ship alive during the heat, but working out the best way to heat it and the fastest way to heat it. Because if you don't heat it fast enough, then you're losing seconds all the time you're trying to gain heat.
If you don't heat it fast enough as well, the module suffers more damage. The modules suffer more damage. So you heat it really quickly, and the modules didn't get damaged as quickly, which is something I found out during the course of the discussions we had over the last sort of week or so during the race. But I've learned a lot from this myself.
Yeah, fascinating, really fascinating. And so he ended up heating the ship by basically coming out of supercruise just really close to the exclusion zone of a super hot star, and then basically engaging a jump but not taking it
until he'd heated up.
So silent running and engaging a jump and then not taking it, and then basically there's a good 5 minutes of the video of him just furiously managing AFMUs to repair things as they're failing. Just to keep this alive as it slowly gets hotter and hotter before finally jumping to the final system and landing it. Yeah, it's incredible.
It was absolutely fantastic, and everybody's support. I mean, your support, Alec, all the other race organisers, everybody who took part as well. It was, with it being my first hosting of a race and my own design as well. I was really nervous, like as I mentioned at the top of the show, that it would go well, and with everyone else's support and enthusiasm, it it seemed to. So I'm really pleased with the
an
overall
absolute
result.
hoot. I might have advised you off a heat mechanic for your first run because I mean you did have to ban somebody, and well, not ban them, but sort of you had to veto a couple of runs. And
I did, yeah. I mean, Brewski, he came in right at the last minute. He did a great run in regulation and sneakily used another commander to feed him repair limpets in his Cobra, which kept his Cobra alive until he built up the most heat, and then I think he was over 500% in his Cobra, and then landed at the last stop. But in Unlimited, he was overheating like mad, but then used the finish line to go and repair, and then fly out again to keep overheating, then come back to the finish line. So I kind of ummed and ahed about that one. I thought, no, the finish line, you cross it once, I'm going to have to take your first landing. There's nothing explicit in the rules, but it was a difficult decision. But I think
Brewski's a little shit for that, though.
He is, though. Yeah, it was funny.
He's a complete and utter little shit, and he knows that I feel about him that way.
Well, it was really funny yesterday in Discord. I was saying, look, the results are slightly delayed because I've got a bit of a steward's inquiry on one run. And Osric posted a couple of messages down. I bet it's Brewski. I bet it's Brewski. And I was giggling to myself, reading the messages, thinking, I can't say anything, obviously, till the results are out. But you've nailed it. It is. It was Brewski.
Yeah, he likes to push the limits. That's what it's all about. It's good
Some
stuff.
people say push the limits. Some people say little shit. I see no difference between the two.
It was very inventive, shall we say? Very inventive.
Creative use of game mechanics.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, that was the race. That was Breaking Badly. Thank you to everyone who took part.
Really
well,
good.
if anybody has a community event which is taking place soon and would like for us to shout about it, then
when's the next Buckyball race? Do we have a date for it?
Yes, it's towards the end of this month. Ashnak is hosting it. I think it's around the 20th. I'm just trying to get my calendar up now.
Yeah, he was trying to choose between two dates just yesterday.
28th of October to the 5th of October.
5th of November. 28th of October.
November, sorry, yes.
Amazing.
Otherwise, yeah, we're not in time ships, are we? So.
And I think it's pretty much a straight rerun of Prison Break, which we did.
Was Prison Break the one that we weren't going to do? That we were going to do and then we didn't end up doing it?
We've done Prison Break in the past, I think, and I think this is a rerun of it. So you can probably look up the old thread on the forum and get practicing if you want.
Cool.
I can't.
Excellent.
What I'm going to try and do, because there's another Frontier live stream between now and when the race starts, I might actually launch into this tomorrow, unless that crater's looking nice again, I might try and make a little trailer for this and see if I can bung it Sally's way so that we can get that on the live stream. As a promo.
Okay, let's talk about the in-game events which have been happening this week. Which is, well, on the 27th of September, the Thargoid War update happened for the whole of September, where everybody, basically the journalists of the galaxy, summarized how humanity has been doing against the Thargoids. We seem to be containing the situation, but it is worrying, is the overall conclusion. On the 28th of September, the new CG started for our mining people missile things. Have we got an actual name for these things yet, apart from meat grinders?
They're They're yeet cannons.
Yeet cannons.
Yeet cannons. True fact.
Exploding person savers.
Exploding person savers.
Purple people.
Not
eaters.
at all. Not
Meat
at all.
extractors.
Anything that's. Human syringes. Let's make it as gross as possible. Whatever it is, it's going to be really gross.
Marked Gamer's got a good one. Pod poppers.
Pod poppers.
I think I quite like that one. Mind you, that sounds like some kids' sweets, doesn't it? So yes, the CG, as Ben is taking part in this, to deliver resources to create these pod poppers is underway, and we'll have to see what goodies we get at the end of it.
Indeed. What's the deal? Top 50% get a free module?
Some people get some pod poppers, some people get some more pod poppers, everybody gets a paint job.
Top 50%, not everybody. Top 50% get one. Top 25% get 2 of these subsurface extraction missiles. That's their
Pod
actual
poppers.
name.
Let's go for this. Let's dig it. I like
Pod poppers from now on.
I think
the
we're
pod
gonna.
poppers.
I think question of the week on over the weekend might be give us an alternative name for things that exist in game. But the top 75% get a federal gunship, Aegis Garrison paint job, or an Aegis paint job. An Aegis Garrison paint job, an Alliance Crusader Aegis Garrison paint job, and an Imperial Clipper Aegis Garrison paint job, because one for each.
Lovely. Yes.
Cool.
And
they're already both of them have already been done. Well, I say both of them have already reached tier 1, so it's not going to be a case of well, you didn't do enough, so you're not going to get it.
Excellent. How many people have actually signed up for it?
Don't you mean you've not done enough, but we'll pass it anyway?
Yeah. There's no worry for that right now.
Yeah.
Last time I got called out on it. It wasn't for that. It was badly worded.
Badly worded. Failed by grammar. Yeah. Right. On the 2nd of October, we've got there is concern in the Empire for the lack of little baby feet. The line of succession for the present Emperor is lacking, shall we say, and there are people saying that she should get busy creating a new Emperor/Empress.
The Empire supports cloning, doesn't it?
I was going to say, can they not just clone another one?
Well, technically, there is a new heir in from the that offshoot prince, isn't there? Because he's just had a sprog, isn't he?
Maybe.
Why would he not be the person in line then?
I wouldn't.
She's not a direct heir.
Yeah.
It's going to be we're going to have to bend the rules a little bit, isn't it? This is the kind of.
Oh, it's like you're sort of like one heir twice removed or something like that. Yeah. Whereas they want emperor woman to go and have babies.
Yes, basically.
Yeah.
But considering her age, that's I suppose it's modern technology.
It's future tech. She'll be fine.
Yeah,
or she can. Or clones.
Just
was it her that was? Oh my god! Why? Like you don't play for like a week and a bit, and then you forget every single bit of lore.
Yes.
Was it her who was? Was she the one who went missing for like a year, and then they found? Okay, so maybe they just haven't.
Maybe that's what she was doing.
No, she was frozen, Ben.
No, she might have.
Don't make me get the spray bottle out.
No, we don't want a let's kill Bill situation here.
No, I'm just thinking certain ladies in refined society.
No,
they don't have illegitimate
Absolutely
children.
not.
They just disappear for a couple of months.
Absolutely not. No, we don't. We don't do that.
Oh, we don't do that anymore.
I will get the spray bottle out, Ben. You stop this.
That's. No, we don't kink shame. Damn it!
Not kink shaming.
No, I was right to kink shame.
Jesus Christ!
Man, you two, stop playing Baldur's Gate. It's just getting you two worse than normal.
Honey on Maine.
Oh, I've already got sweaty palms.
Jesus Christ!
Right. Meanwhile, I mean, yes. So we've got the Federation at the moment. They're having a general election. We've got the Empire going. Okay, come on. We want royal babies, and there's a war on.
It's all happening. What are the Alliance up to?
Nothing, because they're nice and boring, and nobody really is interested in them
Looking for
anymore.
ammonia planets,
Calm down,
probably.
everybody. Calm down.
Well, they still maybe they're the ones who are harboring Salvation in his mech suit.
Oh yeah.
Nah, they wouldn't be that stupid. Would they?
Nah.
No, that'd make things a bit too interesting for them.
Yeah. The danger levels of it actually being engaging for the Empire not for the Empire, for the Alliance might. Their PR team is like, not a chance.
No.
Nope.
None whatsoever. But I must admit, it's nice to actually hear from the Empire because, well, with all the Thargoid news and from all the federal shenanigans with the election, I was kind of forgetting about them. But lo and behold, nice bit of Imperial backstabbing is probably on the way. So that brings us to an end of news for this week, and we don't have a store alert, which I'm quite. I just missed the tune, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what we'll do is we will take a short ad break.
Fingers crossed it works.
Otherwise, you've got to put up with Psychic singing.
Let's throw some shit at the wall and see if it sticks.
We all know what it's like. You're busy managing your settlement when suddenly the alarms go off.
Oh no, not again.
That's right. A commander with a Federation naval rank of Admiral, an Imperial King no less, has landed in a ship worth over 100 million credits and is killing all your staff, while they look around for a 10 credit adhesive to glue an upgraded scope to their 100,000 credit assault rifle. They fly away with their super glue and you're left with a problem. How are you going to get your agricultural plant back up and running?
How am I going to get my plant up and running?
How are you going to find staff at short notice?
How am I going to find staff at short notice?
How are you going to deal with all those bodies?
There's bodies everywhere, and they've stained the carpet.
Wonder no longer. Call Aries Crime Scene Cleanup Services.
Hello, I'm Harry, from Harry's Mine. After a sudden increase in robberies and murders by commanders since 3307, I've gained valuable expertise in cleaning up bodies, recruiting new staff and restocking stationary lockers. Now you can benefit from my experience by signing up to our Crime Scene Cleanup Service subscription plan.
That's right. For only a small monthly fee, when your settlement alarms are activated, our rapid response cleanup crew will be dispatched, along with our patented Cadaver Scoop 150. The Cadaver Scoop 150 can be mounted to surface reconnaissance vehicles and skimmers to make tidying up your settlement a breeze.
Wow, the bodies are gone.
Our recruitment team has potential new employees on standby across the galaxy, ready to fill your vacant roles in security, logistics, administration, processing, and more.
My plant's operational again. Thanks, Aries Crime Scenes Cleanup Services.
Aries Crime Scene Cleanup Services. We'll have your settlement as good as new before the next ship arrives. Cadaver Scoop 150 disposal bags sold separately. Have you been affected by Azimuth Biotech's provocation of the Thargoid menace? At Turner & Fig, we're ready to pursue claims against Azimuth Biotech as part of our class action lawsuit.
My son has started worshipping the Thargoid god and keeps bringing home human sacrifices. Am I entitled to compensation?
Yes, you are.
My daughter was aboard the Bright Sentinel. I keep calling Azimuth to find out where she is, but I always get their voicemail.
Thank you for calling Azimuth Biotech. We're sorry, but
Salvation
is not available. Please leave your message after the tone.
Am I entitled to compensation?
Yes, you are.
I was selling escape pod occupants into slavery, but now Thargoids keep taking the escape pods instead. Am I entitled to compensation?
I suppose so. Thousands, maybe millions of people are due compensation from Azimuth Biotech. Contact us today. Turner & Fig, cleaning out Azimuth Biotech for a huge portion of your compensation.
Protecting settlements from villainous scum, it's Settlement Patrolman. The action figure every child wants. wearing the all-new Manticore Dominator suit with light-up jump assist thrusters. Press his backpack to hear Settlement Patrolman speak.
Not seen you around here before, Commander. Is that a Karma P-15 in your pocket, or are you just pleased to see me? Hey, don't point that at me.
When alarms sound, Settlement Patrolman rides into action in his surface reconnaissance vehicle with pop-up turret and glow-in-the-dark wheel trims. Settlement Patrolman. Surface reconnaissance vehicle and action figure sold separately. Available from branches of Lave Toy Depot and other retailers. Microelectrode, ion battery, and circuit switch not included.
And welcome back. Well, one of the things that we'd like to touch on this week is Alex spotted a thread on the forums. You know, that silly place where most of us shouldn't go, but we do. And it caught his imagination. The thread title is, do you want an Elite Dangerous 2 or just another expansion? Or more expansions, I think is probably the better way of putting it. Cosmo put on the forums sort of, well, do we really want FDev to make another expansion for ED, or just burn it to the ground and start with all over with an ED2? He says that ED is almost 10 years old. He says it's aged a lot. He's not impressed with the graphics compared to more modern space sims. So he's of the opinion it would be best for FDev to keep the good features and learn from other space games for a sequel. In other words, Elite 5. So, okay, Alec, you would like to kick this one off?
All right. Yeah, why not? Yeah, I don't want to dwell on it, but just a tiny bit of context is I sort of landed on this forum thread on the back of there was a couple of videos from Obsidian Ant, and there was discussion on guard frequency, you know, the usual sort of analyzing end of year financials from Frontier, and I guess sort of asking the question what the future holds for Elite Dangerous. I don't know, it's same old, isn't it? You know, the financials and the Steam figures, they go up and they fall down, and they go up and they fall down, and over time there's a slow trend downwards. I mean, that's not news, is it? It's 10 years, who knows? But anyway, this thread caught my imagination because it was kind of like it was speculating. I kind of doubt Frontier will do either of these things, but I thought it was interesting speculation on which would you prefer. Would you prefer Frontier to start again? Actually, there's a sort of side thread to that of, would you like somebody else to start again with the ED franchise, not Frontier? I don't think that's a very sensible option. Or would you prefer for them to continue adding on to the existing game? And I guess the pros and cons of those arguments are there are some things in the game that I think are quite hard to go back from. There seem to be some fundamental technical issues with the Cobra engine to do with things like anti-aliasing. There's just some things that it seems naturally not very good at. Equally, there are some things that it's probably very good at. And also they're kind of some of the design decisions, you know, decisions towards what many people will refer to as the grind, but, you know, kind of material collection and the way that the game works in that regard. Maybe the economy, these things are all quite hard to do a U-turn and go back from without starting again. So I guess those are the arguments for starting again. The arguments for the expansion, I suppose, are that we're sort of, you know, one of the things that struck me was that thinking very long term, some of the criticisms of the game engine as it stands, like you know, the kind of technical depth, the idea that it's very difficult for Frontier to change things without breaking things. And also the idea that some of the sort of visionaries who worked at Frontier at the beginning, you know, people like Michael Brooks and friends who've left, there are arguments to say that the people who work there now don't necessarily share some of that sort of early vision that they did. But I would argue that all these things would be true if they did start again on a brand new game. You'd start a new game with a new team. They'd be keen. You'd start with a new, lovely, shiny, clean bit of software as the engine. I would posit that 10 years down the line, it would be in exactly the same state as Elite is now. So why do that all over again? So I guess my vote, and I'd just throw it around the crew briefly if we're going to get into this, is my vote would be an expansion, because I think starting again, you're just going to effectively end up with the same 10-year life cycle. Whereas at least if you keep expanding, we sort of get new stuff. I don't know. Does anyone think this is an interesting discussion? It's a good thread. I know people slag off the forum as being a silly place. What I liked about this forum thread, and we will link it in the show notes, is that rather than just devolving into the usual sort of sarcasm and sort of nonsense, people pitched in with some quite good content. I thought there's some good reads.
It started that way, and then towards
Has it gone
the
downhill?
end,
I haven't.
It did last quite a while.
Read the first 2 pages.
Yeah. Okay. We'll go to Ben first, and then we'll have a quick word to Psyche afterwards.
Okay.
So,
just countering what Alec was saying. Okay, fine. We have a 10-year thing, but if Frontier gets us all to give them another 60, 70 quid every 10 years, is that a bad thing? Whereas obviously if we go with Elite Dangerous next expansion, that would be, maybe 20 to 40 pounds.
Interesting tack on the question. You're sort of saying they could get more money by starting again. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, basically, maybe they'll get more money from a whole bunch of people if they restart it. There is also, I like the idea of clearing out the technical debt. I'm sure everybody likes that idea. Although, I think we all thought that was the point of that's what Beyond was meant to do, and then what we thought Odyssey was going to do. What I would love to see somehow is Odyssey and Elite to actually feel like one game rather than two.
Well, yeah. I mean, I can see why you think that, but I must admit, the more I've been playing, I don't see the separation as much as it used to be.
I think they've improved on that, because Colin, I seem to remember you were one of the sort of people who felt that quite strongly originally, that it felt disjointed. I seem to recall, but I
do you not feel that the user interface elements for the Odyssey components feel completely different to the user interface elements?
You mean like the suit HUD versus the ship HUD?
Yeah. I would argue that walking around and around and seeing something in your spacesuit is an entirely different experience to flying around.
Yeah, but
I would argue that being a case, and then it being reflected in the UI.
Okay, but so taking what you're saying there, but I look at my phone, and I'm looking at my phone. My phone doesn't change whether it's in a car or not.
Yeah, but you're not driving your phone. You're not looking at your phone to check what speed you're going, are you, Ben? You're not looking at your phone.
That's exactly the point.
But you're not using your phone. Isn't your UI for your car? Your phone is your UI for everything that you have on your phone. Your phone remains a phone wherever you go. You're not switching from Google Glass to being in your car. Those are two very different experiences. Do you see where that metaphor falls apart?
Yeah, I see both arguments. I would say I see what Ben's saying. I honestly never thought about this before, and I don't think it's my reason for feeling like the two halves are separate. It hadn't occurred to me, but I see what you're saying. It does feel a little bit like they're designed by that they're in different games.
Yeah,
I see what you mean. I mean, they could. I don't
it feels
know
like one keeping on the phone idea. but ignoring what you're doing with it, it feels like one's a Windows phone and one's an iPhone.
Is it that you want the on-foot
I have to
orange?
I have to disagree with that. I really do. Yeah, because walking around with your phone, it's what you've got there is you've got two different interfaces for two completely different activities.
Okay, right. Okay, I'm going to go literal now then. One, I have to press the Q thing, and then I move my mouse in a weird fucking way, and it might select the right thing.
Yes.
The other one, I go to the place and I press WSAD. Using the interfaces on the ships, I look at the ship and then I can press 1, 2, 3, 4 to look at the left-right menus, and then it's all WSAD in space.
Yeah.
When I'm walking around, when I'm using my interface, and I'm walking around.
Do you not, when you're looking at the menus, do you not use your HOTAS because that's what's plugged in?
No, I use WSAD.
So you're complaining that you can't use your. I'm confused. Because you can use WASD for the Q menu, you don't have to use the mouse. But if you're using a controller for both, let's say, you can use the controller for both things.
Yeah, it could be that I'm not using a game controller.
It feels like a user error rather than a game.
Isn't that a? I think you have hit the nail on the head there. That the Odyssey thing does feel like it was lent for, ironically enough, a gamepad.
You've taken the discussion's gone in an odd direction.
Yeah, confused.
But do you not feel that the separation of on foot and space, the on foot and space game in Odyssey, is more to do with kind of activities not bridging those divides? So like missions not asking you to missions not combining both bits of gameplay, and
that does my head as well. Yes.
Yeah. Right, Caelan, well, Psychic, we'll take your point next, but Caelan, do you want to jump in there?
Yeah, I think I mean Alec kind of prompted me a little bit about that he might want to talk about this tonight, so I did read a bit of the thread. I didn't get all the way to the end to see if it had degenerated into the usual sort of slang and match, but what I did pick up for it did seem to be an interesting question rather than it just being we want this, we want that kind of thing. And I am coming down myself. I'm coming down on more of the expansion kind of side of the argument at the moment, simply because of the investment. I don't just mean financially, but I mean time and code and everybody's gameplay. I mean, we haven't all played, but many of us have played thousands and thousands of hours, and a lot of the consensus was that people didn't want to start all over again. So I can kind of get that. I just got an echo there. But yeah, I think for me, if it's still crying out for a lot of missed opportunities almost with some narrative elements, some more integration between on foot, in vehicle kind of thing. Possibly a new ship or two, it wouldn't hurt. I mean, was it the Crate Twins that were the last ships that got introduced in the game? Or?
Yeah, that's 5-6 years ago now.
Yeah. And maybe some expanded interiors inside fleet carriers or space stations to make them a bit more city-like, perhaps. They just kind of flesh it out a little bit more. And I think if you got those sorts of things introduced into the game, it would widen its appeal a little bit. But again, if you introduce things, there's a missed opportunity for fleet carrier owners, for example. You could decorate your ready room in lots of different ways. There's lots of different things at the Arc store, or with different JPEGs you wanted to put in picture frames on the wall or whatever. But there's lots of missed opportunities, I think, is what I'm saying, and that would be serviced by expansion and updates and that sort of thing, rather than starting all over again with a new engine. Because to be honest, I think Elite is still a beautiful looking game, and especially after 4.0, that might be a little bit controversial. The planets aren't to everybody's taste, but you fly out in your spaceship. I was in the Horsehead Nebula area a couple of weeks ago in VR, and I just stood and gawped out of the canopy for, there must have been 30 minutes just looking at it. And it was even after this amount of time, it was still something I thoroughly enjoyed doing. It's just beautiful. But but there are missed opportunities in the game, which may be serviced with expansions. So yeah.
Okay, Sakit.
Hi. I think I'm properly in two minds about it, honestly, because I think I'm very much of the opinion that the Cobra engine, as far as Elite is concerned, has maybe reached what it can do, and whether it would be a case, it would be so difficult to transfer everything the way that it is right now into like a new engine or something along those lines. I can only imagine how much of a galactic clusterfuck that would actually be doing that, or moving it into something new or something along those lines. There's also, from a BGS perspective, there were a lot of factions that, quite a few of them have a sizable area that they control that maybe they're not as active or at all active anymore, but because of the code of other BGS groups or other groups of BGS, if a player faction owns one of those factions, they're not going to take it off them until they are really, really fully convinced that this faction doesn't exist anymore or is completely idle and stagnant. So that's really difficult to weigh up correctly as well. There's from a BGS perspective, there isn't a huge amount, but for at least for my faction, let's say, because that's my experience, we don't have a huge amount of places to go or expand to that isn't already owned by somebody else. Now, whether those factions are dead in the water or whether those factions are still have 2 or 3 people going, unless we can try and find them through many different methods, that's quite difficult for us to do. So there's a very, I talk about like burning the bubble and starting all over again. That I jest about it, but I think that would be fucking brilliant. I think that would be really, really good. Whether that is with starting again with an Elite Dangerous 2 with a brand new BGS mechanic to learn or things along those lines. That would be pretty cool, I think. But
yeah,
also I've done a lot of engineer unlocks and I've got a lot of ships in the game and I've invested a lot of time into Elite, and it means a lot to me. And much like what everyone else is saying, I don't know if I've got the stones to start again.
Yeah, I must admit that when I did look at this this thread, the one thing that got me was that it all came down to one thing. Do you want? Well, see, this was the thing that gets me. It's because Elite Dangerous is a live service game. As long as they're able to preserve the BGS or the back end stuff, so that people can continue on playing, then it is actually possible. Because I know this because Eve have done it several times. To clean up the client and clean up the server code independently, and then eventually you put it all together, and hey presto, the Mamba was the last ship. I do stand corrected, but my point is what it seemed to boil down to is: do you want the game to have Elite Dangerous 2 as a complete reset, or Elite Dangerous to continue? Because if I remember rightly, someone asked David Braben exactly what when Elite Dangerous 2 was coming, not long after Horizons was launched, and he said, well, it's already out because Elite Dangerous 2 is Horizons. And that seemed to be the philosophy, which makes us on Elite Dangerous 4 at the moment. And yeah, I've said this in the forums, but the arguments all seem to wrap around the fact that, right, okay, we want it, as you say, a complete fresh start for everybody, which I don't think after 6,000 hours I want a fresh start, because that means all that effort that I put in to get all my names on Stars in the Galaxy, that's gone.
On the other hand, you could do it all again.
I don't want to do it all again because some of it was boring.
But now your son, say, or now somebody's son could do that instead of you as well. So it opens discoveries up for people who are the next generation, shall we say?
Well, put it this way, right? If they do say, right, okay, it'll be Elite Dangerous 2, I know that'll be it for me. Because I've put too much effort in, and the thought of starting all over again right from the very beginning, as much as I do like starting off new commanders every now and again, but the fact that everything has gone is just such a nutsack punch that I don't think I could get the enthusiasm to start all over again.
There was an observation in the forum thread. It's not a particularly surprising observation, really, when you think about it. But the observation was that the people in the forum thread who were mostly pro starting again, with a new engine or and rebuilding a new elite from scratch, were people that had vaguely long-term already abandoned elite. They'd given up, they'd walked away, but they were still hanging around the forums, getting involved in these discussions. And
Yes,
those people
zombie
that have already,
forum posters.
yeah, so those people that have already walked away from the game were all for starting again. The people that are still enjoying themselves were all for expansions. It's not a surprising observation, really, but there it was. And I think that's kind of what we're saying. We're doing stuff. We're invested in the game. We've got our BGS, or we've got our exploration, or we've got the things that we like in the build. We don't want to start all that again. We want to carry on with what we've got. But people that have given up and walked away are not vested in it. And it's like, yeah, I like the idea of Elite. It didn't work for me. I'd like to see them start again and build the game I wanted. Those are the two camps, I think.
Yeah. Ben, you had a question up at the BGS for Psychic.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Ask Sai was, what would you think if Frontier had some kind of mechanism to automatically prune dead factions back?
What would be the metric for that?
That is, well, I would argue
that's my thing.
Yeah.
All it, if the metric is, if one of those faction members logs in a month, then we won't stop pruning the faction back. Do you know what I mean? All it would then take is one person to just
keep
quickly hop into the game, and just do a little tiny bit in the thing.
The question would be, I would probably make the thing, and I'm not a game designer, so what the hell do I know? Would be, if a member of that faction does a activity to boost that faction, then that faction is still active. But if, on the other hand, let's say there's only one person playing and they're off in Colonia doing something totally different, then actually nobody's really playing that faction.
But
that's where I draw the line.
The thing is, once a faction goes into the game.
Yeah.
So once a faction goes into the game, that effectively becomes you have no onus over that faction. You have a squadron, sometimes named the same, sometimes not named the same, and they can choose to support that faction, but they're not. You aren't that faction. You are the squadron who is supporting that faction. So this is where the problem lies. That faction is property of Frontier, and anyone can dick with that faction. They can do whatever they want. You don't have to be aligned to the squadron or anything along those lines. So it's really difficult to justify that. A general inactivity degradation in a faction's presence, and a faction, say a faction is idle or there's not anyone doing anything in those systems, a general degradation that takes them all the way to the retreat. Not if they're native, but if they aren't native, something like that. But anything that you do in that system is going to have an effect on the BGS. So people could be influencing the BGS without really even knowing it. So it's so difficult to measure.
Yeah, and this is where this basically boils down to one of the key issues that we had back during the Lave Wars. The factions who were supporting the Alliance were a bunch of player groups who were actively supporting Alliance-based non-player factions. And that, to me, seems wrong. You know, if I'm in the Psychic faction, then I should be playing the Psychic faction, not the Dead Cat faction.
No, the only link that there is between you as a player and a faction is the fact that you've got it in your head, and maybe your squadron might be aligned with it.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's the thing. That's the whole point. We have squadrons that are one-to-one correlations with the faction that you can align with. So if you're in you want to back a faction, you have your squadron, back that faction, and then anything that squadron's doing that's backing the faction's backing the faction. Not, well, that faction looks like it's got a nice name that makes me laugh, I'll play for them for a bit. No, you're not backing that faction. You're backing some random twats.
Okay, so what you want is what everybody hates in power play, which is a kind of you've got to maintain your faction's rating, and that rating will rot over time.
Well, no, what I don't want is me being able to claim faction Bob over there. Well, that's my faction because I say so. Damn it.
Well, if you created a squadron and said,
if it's but it's got to be a player. Yeah, but it's got to be a player squadron.
And multiple squadrons, multiple player-made squadron, multiple squadrons can support the same faction.
Mm-hmm.
So you could make a squadron.
Yeah.
You could pay your money to make a squadron, and then just say that you're supporting that one faction, and then you use it for like a couple of weeks, and then close it, make a new one, close it, make a new one, as much as you want, because money is no object anymore.
People keep gaming the system like that. I know.
Well, yeah. People are definitely people would game the system as soon as they knew the way that that it would stop degradation or the triggers that would be the problem. So it's there's no way of really winning. I say, fuck it, burn the bubble, start again.
Oh, I'm all in favour of burning the bubble, and we've got the Thargoids coming in to say hi, stop supporting Aegis, etc. Let them.
But if that's an Elite Dangerous 2, or if that's just like a hard reset to Elite Dangerous for whatever is the next step from Odyssey, what does that? You know what I mean?
Well, that would be fine for me if they said it came in. Okay, burn the bubble, and we'd have to build the bubble back up from nothing. I'd be fine with that as long as my character's progress was fine.
So if there was a way, then Colin, sorry to interrupt. If there was a way for them to maybe like clone your character, clone your character into a newer engined Elite. Without
that was the exact point
bubble.
that I was saying, because we were looking at this issue from two different ways. Because you can do that anyway without actually destroying the existing environment, because you can just change. I know that at the moment any developers listening to this are getting ready to punch me. You can just do this. And
just transfer the state into a new engine. How hard can it
be? Easy.
I can feel Tom sort of rubbing his fists ready for the punch. I'm telling you, but yeah, it is possible, as I've mentioned in other space MMOs, to change the client, change the server, yet the entire universe still stays as it is, and people can still playing on it, and they can still upgrade the technology. That's what I'm hoping for under the expansion route. But what everybody else is saying, well, what I'm seeing as under Elite Dangerous 2, that's a brand new game, including any progress lost.
Yeah, but that's.
I know you want to wrap this up, Colin, but just so something you said. Did you say that it was Eve that have done that? So have Eve literally pretty much, ripped out one version of the software and put in a brand new version without changing the state, the BGS, for want of a better name for it?
Well, yeah, I mean that's been the whole way. Every time it's done an upgrade, the client is being upgraded. The graphics, put it this way, the graphics are very, very pretty. They're not the same ones that have been there. They've been updating models. They've been updating mechanics. They've even though, I mean, I'm not a fan of spreadsheets in space, but I am impressed by it.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know that they'd sort of done that. That's quite cool that they can do that.
Yeah, and that's what you can do with any MMO, because you can always, as long as you keep the virtual world running, you can then update bits left, right, and center.
Yeah.
And that's why I think, well, they don't need to wipe everything so force us all to start again, but they can get more modern technology into the game.
I guess some of the reasons that people want, on that forum thread, want to start again is not just to do with that, though. It's to do, and this is what you're saying, I suppose, is that there's two ways of looking at it. What they want is things like, the economy to start again because they got it wrong the first time. Maybe.
Yeah, there'll be things like, okay, no, you can redo power play, you can redo this, you can redo that, you can actually CQC mean something, but the issue with that is that if Frontier wanted to do that, they would have done it already.
Yeah.
I mean, for all we know, the feature rewrite, which is kind of held out as the carrot that keeps us going. That is, we don't know anything about that, and everybody's speculating that, oh no, that's the whole BGS / engineering / power play rewrite. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to draw this to a close now because, we're running out of time, and we've got so many questions, or so many answers rather.
So many answers.
Yeah, so many answers to one small, simple question. And last week I sort of admitted that I'd never done passenger missions before, to which everybody almost died of shock. Which, okay, fair enough. So we thought, Claire put out that question, is there an activity in Elite Dangerous that you haven't done? And we got massives of responses.
We did.
So, yes, Psychic, would you like to go with the first one?
We did. I thought I didn't know that we'd get a lot on this, but it's been really cool. Epaphras said, power play, not really felt the need to get the modules, and I'm not really interested in helping the leaders argue over a handful of systems when there are billions of unoccupied ones they could expand into.
Don't you enjoy being Postman Pat?
Yeah, well, this is the thing that I found about power play, is that it was the social side of things. Very much like how you guys run a BGS squadron or a BGS faction, that worked for me with that. You had a goal every week that you could do, and I wasn't interested in the modules. In fact, actually, I thought the modules ruined it. Because too many people were just going, "Oh, I'm just doing it for the modules." Which
Guilty of charge. I turned up, got my pack hounds, and then buggered off again.
So it's like it's not proper. And of course, I think, humbly, that having an open, positive approach to that would also improve it. But yeah, that is a whole nother discussion that we've had so many times. So
not alone in that one. Yeah, Elvis Kremen writes in and says, exobiology. The tedious flying around above planets looking for plants doesn't really do it for me. I think shooting people in the face and working for my PMF is more my jam. The BGS is, after all, what keeps me playing for a lot longer than I anticipated.
For me, ironically, it's the other way around. I never could get into exploration without starting to do the exobiology, and it's taken me to some amazing places that I never would have tried before. So
I like exobiology. It's not a bad little bit of gameplay. It's very chilled. I enjoy just I've sort of said in the past about just drifting over planet surfaces and just chilling, and this is the sort of excuse to do that. Really, it's a bit like fishing being an excuse to sit by a river.
Cozy gameplay.
Yeah, nothing wrong with a bit of that occasionally.
No.
I've got Commander Homburger. I've never ganked anyone, mainly because, well, how is that fun? I don't know. I've been involved in a little bit of piracy, but normally if I go stand and deliver and they don't drop the cargo, then basically, all right, off you go then.
Yeah. I mean, actually, the question for everybody here is, how many people are okay with what I would term legit piracy versus murder hoboing?
It's very difficult to define legit piracy for me, Ben, in 20 seconds.
Yeah,
that is... Deliver, give me your shit or I'm going to blow you up. 10, 9, 8.
A little bit of role play. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's one...
Whereas, why would I give you the chance to... Why would I give you the chance to... Why would you risk the chance of someone combat logging on you if you enjoy?
Because it's roleplay. That's the difference. One is killing people and going, aha, I killed you. And one is roleplay.
Lads, I play exclusively in private group. It's not. I'm not. I'm just trying to be devil's advocate here.
Yeah, one's killing people and being a dick. One's actually valid gameplay.
Yeah, but some people just like chaos.
And they can let the world burn.
Okay, Ben, you've got the next one. It's you.
It's me. Yeah. Funny that, isn't it? So as I've said on the show before, I ain't visited the Heart of the Titan because I really can't be bothered with the shit that you need to go and get there. I love other parts of the Thargoid content, but going off and doing the stuff required to go and see the middle of the Titan just doesn't do it for me. Also, I've not ordered a drink at the bar yet.
Oh,
such a twat.
I want my Lave and brandy, damn it.
Got to get that in.
Damn right I have.
At least you've got your sippy cups now.
I do have my sippy cups. But why can't I get a drink at the bar, damn it?
3 years we've had this.
And you'll get it for 10 more if they don't go off and make Elite Dangerous 3.0 or 4.0 or 5.0, whatever the hell. Yeah, Elite Deadly. There we go.
They need Unreal Engine to do that, Ben. The Cobra engine can't do drinks, apparently.
Oh, yeah. I mean, one thing that I do say about this, Ben, actually, is I think after a certain period of time, I think the modules should be made a lot easier to get. Say after about 9 months or so. But, yeah.
I mean, anyway. I would argue that, fine, you've got it, you've had your access, you've had your fun. Now go and let the scrubs like me go and buy the damn thing.
Yeah. After about 9 months, yeah, probably.
9 months a year, I don't care. That's fine.
But if you blow up a player's ship who's already got all that stuff, you get to keep their stuff.
That would be fun, yeah.
Oh, now we're right back to ganking again.
That would be meaningful gameplay then.
Now Holmberger's ears are pricking up. He's thinking, maybe I will get into this ganking business.
Ilum, rescue us.
I'll try. Along similar lines, with similar subject matter with regards to Thargoids, Chaotic Mass has said that they've never defeated a Thargoid panic posy solo. Why not? It's more fun to do it in a group, which I get. I really do. I've really enjoyed Thargoid combats in a group, but I must admit, the first time I soloed a Cyclops, I was elated for days. It's phenomenal. It's such a rush. Yeah, killing a Hydra in a group is great, but even just a Cyclops on your own is fantastic fun.
Yeah, especially when you do it properly, you don't end up just ganking it with about 20 of you just firing your
reverse skis, all that kind of stuff, flak, all that great stuff. It is great fun.
I understood why the AXI had to do it before because the hearts weren't working properly, but now, back to Psychic then.
Because you have to admit, though, it is also a lot of fun. 20 of you just taking shots at that one.
It's brilliant. Yeah, it's brilliant.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. This is one thing. Elite Dangerous to me, it's always a lot more fun when you're in a private group with other people, or even in open with other people.
Yeah,
I always find that elevates the whole experience. So, anyway,
Bopper says that they've never been to Seoul. They've played since 2017, made an agreement with themselves to wait until the PS5 version came out, as the PS4 version is so grainy. That never happened. They moved to PC and they couldn't bring themselves to go back. I would say Mars High is pretty cool. Whatever it's called, Mars.
It was one of the first things I sort of set myself as a goal in the game was to go to Seoul. And it's good. It's great flying around the Earth and finding where you live and going, that's where I live.
I love visiting things like Voyager and so on.
Yeah, some great Easter eggs there. So isn't there a tourist beacon about Musk's car as well that he's shot into space?
I think that is there now, yeah.
Yeah, it's great fun.
One thing I did, I suppose you don't have to go to Seoul to do this, but I remember doing this and being really early on and being really impressed with the game for doing this, is I went to Seoul, well, sort of, just flying over the Earth, I suppose, And then I picked out in the night sky Mintaka, which is one of the stars that's in Orion's belt, in the constellation of Orion. And sure enough, I could see the constellation. I could see the shape of the constellation. I just remember thinking, that's pretty cool that there's all these millions of stars in this sort of artificial game, you know, this 3D simulation of the galaxy. And if you line them up with the perspective of Sol in the right direction, you can see that constellation, even though they're all different distances. I remember thinking that was quite neat.
Mm. You've got the next one.
Oh, it's me. It is. Yeah. Sorry. Dantechnik.
Dantechnik.
Oh, yes, I see it now. Dantechnik. I've still not done CQC, that classic dilemma of having never done it, and the only people in there who do it being the people who are brilliant at it. So it puts me off. Would love to practice with NPCs for a while first, maybe. Yeah, I would too.
Yeah, I know. The one problem is that there's that few people playing CQC at the moment, is that they're practically using the Force when you go up against them. It's something else. Right, I've got Genopophis. Goodness knows. Well, I would say high-class anti-Xeno in engineering because of the grind. Well, yep. Fair enough. Yep. It's the same problem that Ben's got, because, you know, there's this barrier in the way to actually getting to the good stuff. So, Ben.
Hello, Ben.
Hello, calling Ben. Calling Ben.
And I was saying a whole lot of things, but my microphone was muted. That's not very good, is it? I'm professional, don't you know?
Yeah, really?
Yeah,
it's a good job that, like, I mean, you'll get used to this, Lave Radio at some point, Ben. You'll get there. I know you're still early days, but I think you'll be all right.
I know.
You're getting there. You're getting there. It's okay.
Yeah, he's the one. He's the one that served the longest out of all of us.
I know.
It's just,
I know.
Yeah. You know what? Would I get less for murder now?
Probably. Depends who you murdered.
Yeah. Anyway, Sneaky Squeakers is saying fighting Thargoids, but that's mostly because they're 34,000 light years away from all the fighting.
Brave Sir Robin ran away.
I bloody didn't.
I gather alts are good for doing this sort of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's me. Okay. Silas Rezzi, apologies for murdering your name. Intentional PvP in the main game, the thought of going up and again against well-piloted and engineered ships is less fun than trying to log into a CQC session. Yeah, it can be. I think possibly the best place to go and try a bit of PvP is in a CG system in open.
Yeah, I mean, there are player groups that, if you just say that you're looking to learn PvP, they're actually very friendly, and they do try and train you up so that you get some experience. And it's the unintentional PvP where you're basically ganked and that really winds a lot of people up. But then again,
the first time I had a go at it was in a CG, and I was targeting some of the gankers, and I ended up winging up with a few commanders I'd never even met before, to try and protect all of the traders coming through, and I thought that was really good fun, and morally it felt the right thing to do as well. But that's not something I've done a lot of PvP, to be fair.
No.
That's something I did that. There was a while when people were just ganking everybody in Shinata Desra, and so a bunch of us just all winged up, and we were just defending people in Shinata Desra. And yeah, you're right, it was a blast.
Yeah, but what I've normally found is the gankers, the ones that really just pick on the noobs. As soon as they see an arranged posse coming after them, they combat log faster than...
Yeah, the gankers are not actually... That class of ganker is not interested in real PvP.
No, definitely not. Oh, back to Psychic.
Alexandra Strube says, and I'm so sorry if I butchered that, says, attacking anyone, to be honest, not my thing.
I'm waiting for people to start putting in really rude names.
Okay,
like,
these are just Twitter names. These are just Twitter names.
You can still have rude.
You give them any idea now.
The issue is, if you change your Twitter name, it can be under review for like 6 months now. So don't do it.
Yeah, I'm waiting for a Twitter name from Anita Jobby or something like that.
Safia says, on foot combat, mainly because I know my abilities. My aim is shit.
You can't argue with that one.
No, I'm in the same boat, actually.
Problem between mouse and keyboard. Well,
We've
mouse
got an
and
elixir
chair,
for that.
yes.
I guess it gets good with practice.
Get good. I've got Commander Seduce, sort of unlocking the caustic sink. This is you, Ben, isn't it? Aside from being 13,000 light years away from the bubble, I just haven't been able to muster the willpower to face that grind. I mean, I found that grind not to be that difficult, to be honest, although that might be different now with the glaives. Go on, Ben.
Is he muted again? He's probably muted again.
Yes.
I am muted again. Sorry, I'm just... Oh, bollocks, that's your fault. I went into a star there.
Poor workman blames his tools.
Yeah. No, I was flying around the star, like, oh, okay, I'm going around and I can answer this. But anyway, where are we there? So Rangers GSTQ, just like me, is saying they ain't visited a Titan or tried to go in. And they're saying it feels like a lot of work to get in and then get killed anyway.
But you didn't.
It's definitely more likely that you potentially would get see the rebuy screen for sure.
Mm-hmm. Unless you're multi-crew with somebody who already knew how to get there.
Well, like, they will be seeing the rebuy screen. I find it kind of difficult to get back out at the moment, especially with the pincer. No, the scythes. That's the only place that I've ever seen one is in the what's there. And then when we're having to rescue people from there, and then the scythes are coming after, I think that's going to be well out of my wheelhouse. I'll probably have to make a whole new ship for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, kill him.
Yep. Akil Hashim writes, I still would like to get the Guardian equipment, but I didn't come to grind on a planet. Okay. What kind of Guardian equipment are you talking about? I think the Guardian sort of...
I'm guessing they're meaning the Guardian. You've got the sites that you can go and
it's get. It's a bit repulsive, isn't it? You have to do it it's great, but you have to do it a few times, don't you? I suppose.
The FSD booster takes not very much to sort of unlock, doesn't it? Really, well, it depends if you want all the other modules, really. But I think just the FSD booster is probably if you're going to do one, that's the one.
It's an afternoon's job, and that's it, really, isn't it?
You don't really need them now, though, as well, because if you're doing a lot of the stuff that the Thargoids can do now, just negate Guardian.
Yeah, I suppose the FSD booster's dead cool, isn't it?
Oh yeah, you need get the FSD booster. Anything else kind of can fall in the wayside now for other things that you can
the
buy.
Guardians kill not the Guardians, so the Thargoids now nuke Guardian fighters as well. Then
I don't know.
I don't know.
I've got a Guardian fighter on my ship, so I'm going to have to test that. I have a horrible feeling it will.
The fighters are just like 3 goes, though.
Yeah.
Aren't they? So
they're
just like 3 goes.
The Guardian ruins, you mean?
Yeah.
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 The good thing about the
like
fight, you got to do the
grind.
Yeah, you got to do the spacey fight, the spacey Guardian thing
and
as
that's
well.
amazing.
Oh my god, that's beautiful.
That's the best thing that you should do that. Even if you're not interested in getting it, even if you're not interested in having a Guardian fighter, I 110,000,000% believe that everyone needs to go and experience that because it is such a cool set piece.
Wouldn't you love it if they could do more things around those set pieces?
Yeah.
Fuck yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's what hopefully we'll be finding out with update 17.
Anyway, we've got a couple of people left, haven't we?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're going to have to go quick then.
We'll be good. Little Big Yin, vaguely aware of who that might be. The Steal the Goobers. We're on our Discord answers now. So, the Steal the Goober from the ground bases when the space police try to stop you. That mission, mostly because I can never find them. Oh, I haven't done any ship-based PvP. I'm excluding shooting friends to get rid of the ship bounty for them.
Yeah, mercy kill.
Digital Druid writes in and says, activate a Thargoid Crash Titan or Megastructure. Distance, caustic mats, and the fight to find probes for a light show. Not worth my time yet.
Oh, it is worth your time.
Oh, it definitely is.
Good.
It definitely is.
Put it this way, we thought, first time we ever saw that. Yeah.
Well, this is what we were talking about at the beginning of the show with that video.
Exactly.
Okay,
what
they did the
floats
whole
boat, isn't it? If you're not, it's like the Titan. I went to the Titan because I desperately wanted to see it. It was totally worth the I'm not going to call it the grind because I enjoyed the process, but I totally wanted to get there.
If you enjoy what you're doing, it's not a grind, is it?
But if you're not motivated to see the light show, then it's good though.
Yeah.
Oh, typical. Cheb's will. I've got, and he says, the grind.
He added a winky face at the end of that for some reason that didn't post.
One man's grind is another man's comfy.
And let's remember, these are
answers
the things they haven't done. So I like that. He hasn't done the grind.
Yeah. Bad Bjarne is saying, killed the Hargers Thargoids. Too much like hard work to build a proper ship. Should be some way to rent a ship with the top specs. I could agree with that.
Like that.
Half off incoming or something like that, and missing the on-foot engineers in Colonia. Been there once, not going again.
Fair enough. Gillum.
Yep. Happy Moon Monkey. Power play. It's taken me 40 weeks to go around all the powers module shopping. And it's only after that I can consider settling on one and figuring it out. Plus now I realise that I'm running low on prismatic shields, so I'm going to have to defect back to the princess for another 4 weeks. I mean, I've only done prismatics. I've not done pack hounds or anything. I've no idea how power play works.
Ruining of power play.
I am, yeah.
Oh, Colin got real salty with that. Well, I mean, that's how a lot of people play power play. Altrexis writes in and is a person very much after my own heart and did mining with a throwing up face.
See, mining's like fishing.
It's nice. There's nothing wrong with mining.
Okay. So strip mining is absolutely fine. Core mining can get in the fucking bin.
Oh, it's the best.
I'm with you there. I'm with you there. Strip mining, I love.
It used to be good.
Yeah. Deep core mining, going, where the fuck's that thing? Yeah, that's not my idea of fun. You're right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry, deep core mining's worth it just for the
It
boom.
must be lovely. It must be lovely. But as somebody who predominantly will stream their gameplay, and I've said this before, but as someone who streams most of their gameplay, being backseated by people, being told to look for things,
you said that before. Yeah.
Go fuck themselves.
Look for the popcorn bubble.
Look for the popcorn bubble. Look for the LucasArts logo. Go fuck yourself. Get in the fucking bin.
Last one from Steph, Commander Xena.
Hey, hi Steph, we love you.
Illegal ground activities. I like to keep my nose clean and play nice and fair.
Bravo.
Delivery missions then. And you thought about power play being a postman bat simulator.
I've often thought you need like an alt, because I have similar things with doing illegal stuff. I think you need an alt where you agree with yourself to play naughty as your alt.
See, you want a chaotic evil run?
I do this in video games, and then I still, like in Mass Effect, I try and go the bad guy in Mass Effect, and I just can't bring myself to go and do it.
Yeah, I had the same thing on Knights of the Old Republic. I couldn't be the dark side guy. Anyway, let's go to our shoutouts because for a surprising amount, we had no subject whatsoever, and lo and behold, we filled the time again.
Dead game, mate.
Dead game. Our sister station, Hutton Orbital Radio, it broadcasts on a Thursday at 8:30. You can tune in at twitch.tv/Hutton Orbital Truckers, or if you just want the audio, radioforthemug.com. For the discerning commander that likes a bit of CQC action, check out the CQC Discord at discord.me/Elite Dangerous CQC. We're giving shout outs to the other Elite Dangerous podcasts, which are The Guard Frequency, who think it's a dead game, and Loose Screws. Now, following this, we have the latest Galnet News Digest, as provided by Commander Witherspoon and Commander Beetlejude. And thanks to everybody who's chipped in the Twitch chat and then the in-game commanders. And I've seen Commander Miggles as I've sat here with my Magna Pants on full at Lave Station. I've got Commander Siberius over in the corner over there, and we've got Caleb running around. Just doing. I think you're doing your Sebastian Coe circuits at the moment, aren't you? Or should that be Steve Cram? It's Steve Cram, isn't it? Yeah,
definitely. Yeah.
Not Bailey Johnson.
Yeah.
Who can tell? My visor's opaque. Who knows?
So special thanks, as always, go to Commander Tokuso, JN Trax, and Alan Stroud, who have created music for the show. So that's it for another episode of Lave Radio. Ben, if you'd like to get in touch with the show, then you can find us at our contact links at the home/contact us menu on the laveradio.com website. Do let us know if you have any questions or if there's anything you'd like us to discuss in a future episode. Lave Radio is recorded live on a Tuesday evening at 8:30 and streamed out at laveradio.com/live. So, thanks to Ben.
Good night, Colin.
Thanks to Commander Psychic.
Enough sitting around. Let's go hurt someone.
Thanks to Alec.
Thanks, Colin.
And of course, thanks to Caleb for putting up with us, basically.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, and we have special thanks for today's tech specialist, the wonderful Potdick Santiago, who we welcome back.
Good night, everyone. I'm sorry.
The dejected. I'm sorry.
My God, I'm dejected. Potdick, don't worry about it, buddy.
No,
we certainly don't. Oh, be nice.
We've got Eeyore running the tech. So until next time, commanders, fly safe, and if you can't do that, fly dangerous.
Is your life like this? Sounds like someone having an orange inserted. You need a safe word. Space can be done. I'm going to see the galaxy.
Damn it. No worries, guys. Hold the fort for 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
Galnet News Digest, 3rd of October 3309. We read the news so you don't have to. In this week's news, we identify some of the locations on the Titans that human captives can be freed from when the human scoop becomes available. We wonder whether rescuing people from the Titans is such a good idea after all. And the Emperor is urged to get frisky.
Aegis, working with its development partner, the Sirius Corporation, is now confident that it has the resources to make generally available the hostage extraction tool it has been developing. Nicknamed the Mincer, these subsurface rescue missiles will be used to free some of the millions of humans captured during the first 6 months of the Thargoid invasion, and those that have been more recently stolen from search and rescue vessels by the Scythe variant of the Hunter Thargoids. An ongoing initiative at Springer Gateway in Senlu to provide the resources to start the mass manufacture of the subsurface extraction missiles looked destined to fail on Friday, with the demand for hard-to-obtain commodities unlikely to be filled. In a moment of genius, one of the Sirius research engineers realised that the missiles didn't need to be made of osmium after all, and that widely available copper would do the job nicely. The minimum amount of copper has now been delivered, and an awful lot of copper-coloured missiles are expected to become available soon, possibly as early as Thursday. Those who took part will be awarded Aegis paint jobs for their Federal gunship, Alliance Crusader and Imperial Clipper. And some will be awarded free subsurface extraction missiles by a grateful Aegis. Galnet Digest believes that the targets identified by the Xeno Pulsewave scanner as Titan subsurface storage chambers are likely to be where the humans are being held, although this can only be confirmed once the first hostages are released, scooped up and taken to a rescue ship for revitalizing and rehabilitation.
Several commentators have expressed this week their concern over plans to rescue those held captive by the Thargoids, postulating that they might turn out to be the inhabitants of a Thargoid Trojan horse. There's been speculation for some time that the Thargoids might be stockpiling human captives for use as weapons against humanity. Perhaps they plan to reprogram their captives' brains to be hostile, or perhaps they have an external device that forces the subject to fight against their own kind against their will. Or perhaps they've learned the lesson of the mycoid virus and will send out those captives infected with a deadly disease to infect and destroy humanity without the need to fight. And of course, the temptingly available Titan storage chambers could easily have been placed there to bait us into trying to rescue our erstwhile compatriots, with the express purpose of taking them back to centres of human population so they can attack from within or spread that deadly synthetic virus. The Thargoids may be far cleverer than we believe, and may be on the point of allowing us to transport the vector for the next threat to humanity back to the centres of population that the Thargoids have previously been unable to hit. Can we resist the urge to rescue our fellow humans in their hour of greatest need? If not, we need to think seriously about how we can protect ourselves from the risk of giving our enemy safe passage through our defences.
The scare over Lady Florence the Imperial Mother's health in July has caused concern over the Imperial succession. After all, if the Imperial Mother has been shown to be mortal, her daughter, the 16th Emperor, may well prove to be mortal as well in due course. In the Senate, Senator Lysander Corsell expressed her concern that the 66-year-old Emperor has no romance in her life. She has no consort, let alone a spouse, and that in Erissa's 8 years as Emperor, only one of which was spent in suspended animation as a hostage, she has made no attempt to provide the Duval-branded heir that the Empire so desperately needs. Every one of Erissa's 15 predecessors in the 1,000 years of the Empire has provided an heir, giving an unbroken line of succession, whilst it's true that Hadrian Duval, who arguably has a greater right to be emperor than Orissa, has an 18-month-old son, and many of the minor Devals have more offspring than they know what to do with. Princess Aisling's dalliances with a string of gentleman friends have failed to produce any mini Aislings, and the Emperor doesn't seem to have even tried using the imperial version of Tinder. From the longevity of her ancestors, the Emperor could easily continue to rule for 60 more years, but she could equally well become an ex-Emperor at a moment's notice, without a stallion of impeccable bloodline to service her needs and provide the Empire with an undisputed successor. A conflict over the succession to the imperial throne would be inevitable.
And that's this week's highly erotic Galnet News. Galnet News, we read the news so you don't have to.